all gender-wise kasi wala pang Pope na nagpo-focus sa gender problems like yung discrimination tsaka yung mga ganung bagay.
Siguro mas magiging maayos naman yung takbo ng Catholic Church ngayon kung siya kasi nga full of hope pag ganun eh. So mas titingin ko mas tataas yung yung faith nila sa God.
I expect a lot of course. I expect this to be a good term for him. Na sana hindi rin siya bumaba ng pwesto. I hope. Pero, yeah, feeling ko naman, things will change. May mga magbabago.
Papatuloy po ang ating usapan patungkol kay Pope Francis. At kanina, we were asking our guests ano ba yung inaasahan nila dito sa ating bagong Santo Papa.
Dahil nabasa natin itong si Pope Francis ay simpleng-simple nga ang kanyang motto nga, itong lowly but chosen. Napakaganda ng kanyang motto at yung kanyang background being chemist. Ano kaya ang magiging makipa sa Argentina? Yun ang iniwan nating question kay Bishop Rudy ng United Methodist Church. Marami tayong kinakaharap bilang Kristiyano in general, irrespective of your religious denomination. Ano ang tingin yung magiging tulong ng kanyang background sa kanyang gagampan ng trabaho sa mundo?
Alam natin na marami ang mahirap dito sa mundo ngayon at dito na rin sa ating bansa. At ako ay naniniwala na si Santo Papa ay makatulong dahil ang kanyang model ng paglilingkod ay hindi lamang kay St. Francis of Assisi. Ang model na rin niya si Jesus Christ na nagmamahal sa mga mahihirap. You know, when Jesus saw the multitude, He had compassion for them because they were sheep scattered without a shepherd at naghihirap po sila. Alam ko rin na makakatulong ito sa iba't ibang mga religions dahil siyempre bilang isang faith, isang pananampalataya, yun din naman ang ating gusto nating paglingkuran. Yung lost, last, and least among. Sa Matthew, sinasabi dito na, whatsoever you have done to the least of my brethren, you have done it to me. At ako'y saludo kay Pope dahil siya nga ay ipinanganak sa Islams, may damdamin siya sa mga mahihirap, at ako'y excited din naman mula sa United Methodist Church dahil alam ko na maging dito sa Pilipinas ay magkakaroon tayo ng mas malapitang relationship.
Okay. Nais ko namang tanungin si Ambassador De Villano kasi nandun na kayo nung si Pope Benedict, kayo yung ambassador doon, no? But Pope John Paul II pa, yes, okay. Now, kasi it must have been interesting to listen in dito sa kapag nagdi-discussion yung mga Pope, ay yung mga cardinals sa pagpili ng bagong Santo Papa. Kasi wala sa listahan itong si Pope Francis eh. So ano ba talaga yung basihan na ginagamit nila sa pagpili ng bagong Santo Papa?
Actually naman, Veronica, wala naman talagang listahan yan eh. Tayo lang ang gumagawa ng listahan eh. Yung media, tayo.
Yes. Mahilig ang
Sa
Pinoy
atin
sa
yung
short.
mga unang-una sa listahan natin, syempre si Cardinal Chito Tagle, no? Noon ngang sabi, noon ng white smoke, lumabas na. Naku, sigaw kami ng sigaw sa bahay. I was still hoping na pagbukas ng balcony, ay, si Chito Tagle makikita ko. Pero, we're very happy na ganito nangyari dahil wala nga talagang listahan. Anybody who enters there as an elector, yung pwede makapili, may pwedeng maghalal ng Pope, is himself eligible to be chosen as Pope. Lahat nun. Kaya makikita natin na kung sino man ang napili, talaga ang pumili ang Holy Spirit, ika nga natin, ang Panginoon. Kaya ang ako naman, buong paniwala ko, na kung sino man ang napili, yun yung sa tingin ng Diyos, yung kailangan sa panahon. Kung kailan siya, yung kanyang paglilingkuran, depends on that time and space kung ng kanyang paglilingkuran. Kaya wala namang rules yan eh. Ang rules na lang sila sa congregation kung how many times a day they will vote, at saka kung ano yung at nakita natin yung sa sistema na lahat nag-uumpisa sa panalangin, kasama ang panalangin the whole time, at ending always in prayer.
Yes.
Kaya makikita natin dito, buong-buo ang aking paniwala, na the whole action of the conclave is an act of the Holy Spirit or an act of God.
Gusto kong tanungin si Attorney Raymond. Dahil sa Attorney Raymond, nakikita natin ngayon, nabanggit ni Father Joe kanina na yung messaging ni Pope Francis ay napakalinaw at nakikita nating lumalabas siya sa kanyang cordon sanitaire, lumalabas, nakikipaghahalubilo sa mga tao. In the many debatable issues around the world, such as gay marriages, abortion, etc., do you prefer that this Pope engages these many sectors, participates in the debate, or remain cloistered there in the Vatican and just give orders down in those countries?
This Pope, the new Pope, Pope Francis, is a definite improvement for us in the gay community compared to the previous Pope. Ang struck us, ako personally, yung tono ng kanyang pananalita towards our community, towards gay people, was verging on hateful. Parang may personal na galit sa amin. We don't feel that with Pope Francis. All I can feel is compassion, acceptance, tolerance, despite what they say about his, statements as cardinal. There's something very holy about him. And ako, as someone who has studied in a Jesuit university for 20 years, I'm very close to the Jesuits myself. I was a former Jesuit novice. So ako, I have an affinity to this Pope. And I think that he is a real blessing from heaven, and he has the capacity to engage the world in all of these difficult issues that you've said, same-sex marriage, abortion, divorce, because he is, he starts from a very humble background, and I think that I remain very hopeful. Like many others, I cannot say that I cannot speak for other members of my community kasi syempre marami rin sa LGBT community medyo negative din about him. But personally ako
gusto kong mag-follow up kay Attorney. Are you saying, sir, na sa itsura pa lang ni Pope Francis, sa kanyang manner na magsalita, you see a world that, using a cliche, that agrees to disagree without being disagreeable?
Exactly. I do think that the church can always engage homosexuals and gays and disagree with issues. But you don't have to be disagreeable. You can be compassionate. At yun ang nakikita natin kay Pope Francis. Nung nagkaroon ng issue about HIV/AIDS sa Argentina, siya pa yung he washed the feet of the AIDS victims. Alam mo naman, lagi nakadikit yung usapin ng homosexuality pagdating sa HIV. But if he can approach the issue with compassion, then I certainly feel that very hopeful that he's really leading the church towards a new direction, which is more faithful to the.
Okay, may reaction si Ambassador De Villa.
I don't wish to engage in a debate here, no? Pero I would just like to take issue dun sa sinabi ni Attorney Bong na si Pope Benedict was almost hateful and angry. He never was like that. Kaya lang, of course, sinabi mo nga kanina, sa itsura, no? Because Pope Benedict looks sterner or more harsh, not because of anything. Kilala ko siya personally, kaya ma-explain ko ito He was a shy person actually. Kahit na dunong-dunong, timid siya, shy siya. Pero hindi, I never saw in any of his pronouncements na he was angry or harsh towards your sector, no? Ang pinapaalala nga niya lagi, we have to go back to the basic, and the basic of our faith is Jesus Christ. Kung makita natin naman si Jesus, Jesus was always compassionate, kamukha nung sinabi mo. Kaya lang siguro nga sa itsura, no? I'd just like to correct that kasi kilala ko si Pope Benedict personally. Hindi dahil sa nakikinig sa debate. Kasi kilala ko siya, and I know his heart, and he has just the same all love in the world. Kaya lang, iba yung personality niya.
Okay. Tanungin naman natin si Father John, no? Dito po sa homily ng Santo Papa, no? Kasi alam niya na may mga heads of state na dadalo sa kanyang inaugural mass. So, sabi po niya, hiniling niya sa mga may kapangyarihan na protektahan ang mundo at huwag hayaan ang omens of destruction to accompany the advance of this world. Ano pong ibig sabihin niya doon?
Parang pinalaala ng ating Santo Papa yung vocation to protect. It's a vocation of stewardship of what we have received from God. We have to take care of what we have received from God. And principle of this is the gift of creation. So yung issues ngayon about ecology, about the environment, sinasabi ng Santo Papa na alagaan natin ito. We have the vocation to protect, no? Protect creation, protect human life, protect the elderly, the sick, and the marginalized. The vocation of protection is a vocation of care, no? There is that respect and reverence because you have received everything from God. It's all a gift, so we should not abuse what we have received from the Lord. In fact, he also mentioned a word which I liked very much. He said, to protect with tenderness. It's a very powerful word. It's tenderness. And we should not be afraid of tenderness and goodness in the way we deal with people.
Napakaganda. Nick, napakaganda na raise mo yung mga advocacy ni Pope Francis. With this kind of leader, gusto kong tanungin si Nikki. Sa tingin mo, siyempre hindi kaya ni Father Joe na itanim yung lahat ng puno sa buong mundo. Hindi niya kayang i-advocate yung position ng simbahan sa maraming legislation. You think with this kind of leader, the laity, the members of the church, will step up and be true Christians?
Sana naman na we try to be more like Jesus, like the person we pray to all the time. I hope so.
Ikaw personally, Nick, with this Pope Francis, are you drawn to him? Are you inspired by him? Are you more encouraged to step up and work as a better Christian?
Very much so. Very much so. It's the way he carries himself. Kasi parating, siguro kasi sa mga world leaders natin, sanay tayo na they're so trapped by the perks of their office na parating may driver, parating may secretary. This leader of our Catholic Church is living the gospel, to serve everyone. He makes his own phone calls. He steps down from the car to kiss a disabled man. Talagang you cannot help but be moved na ganitong klaseng leader natin.
Okay. Tanungin naman natin si Jules, ano? Kasi alam natin yung kabataan, medyo mapusok pa yan,
Yes.
ano? Pero kasing sinabi si Pope Francis, sabi niya sa kanyang homily, it's important to keep watch over our emotions, our hearts, because they are the seat of good and evil intentions. Intentions that build up and tear down.
Hindi
no?
naman yun
Hindi
Jules,
naman.
ano?
Pero ako, I found it very powerful. I'd like to know, para sa kabataan, how would you react to that?
Yan.
Well, that's true. Of course, lalo na ngayon na sobrang yung access ng kabataan and even anyone sa social media, nandiyan lang, even in your phone. Kung ano lang na maramdaman mo ngayon, i-share mo agad yan sa Facebook or Twitter. Malalaman agad yan ng mga tao. Well, maganda na yung simbahan natin ngayon through Pope Francis na totoo yan, very inspiring siya. Even ako, sobrang na-move ako. Especially siguro as a student activist din na sobrang mapusok din talaga sa lahat ng mga issues. Parang mai-inspire ka talaga na dun sa mga salita na banggit ni Pope Francis na nga naman, at the end of the day, sige, merong merit siguro yung mga sinasabi mo during that time, pero kailangan mo rin alalahanin after ilang hours or even after ilang days, nandiyan na yan, nasa social media na yan, nakamark na yan sa World Wide Web. So kung ano yung mga sinabi mo, magmamark na yan sa buong mundo. So kailangan natin pag-isipan kasi maaring nailabas mo yung emotions mo during yung magiging epekto nito sa iba't ibang mga sektor, sa iba't ibang mga aspeto, hindi mo pa siya ma-realize during that time. So it's very malaki yung magiging ambag nun kung lahat ng mga kabataan, especially para magiging gabay siya sa paggamit sa social media para mas maging responsible tayo.
Pero let's go back to yung mismong simbahan. I'm interested in this, si Father Joe. Nung nagpunta yung patriarch ng Orthodox Church, malalim ang yung schism na nangyari in the 10th century. Napakalalim nun. At itong unang-unang pag-attend ng patriarch, nandun pa yung rabbi ng mga Jews.
Yeah.
Sa tingin niyo po ba, we are seeing a more united church? You're seeing a church that has a chance of being united with the Eastern Catholic Church,
Yes.
and have greater influence with the bigger issues of the world.
Yung decision nga ng Patriarch of Constantinople na dumalo sa inauguration ni Pope Francis, very symbolic yon. At saka nakita namin na siguro may dahilan ito kasi yung nasa balcony yung Santo Papa, ang binibigyan niyang diin yung as Bishop of Rome. Sinasabi niya as Bishop of Rome, he presides over the churches in charity. Hindi yung in power or dominion, but in charity. And I think that phrase, in charity, really appealed to our sister churches in the whole world. Kasi yun naman talagang old title ng Bishop of Rome, someone who presides the churches in charity in recognition of Peter, who was the prince of the apostles. So yung pagpunta ng Patriarch of Constantinople is really an affirmation of that original communion of the churches all over the world. Maganda yun kasi sinasabi nga ni Kristo, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in their midst. At yun yung panalangin ni Jesus na magkakaisa ang lahat. Kasi kung magkakaisa ang lahat, lalo nating natutugunan ang kalooban ng Ama na tayong lahat ay tinatawag na magkaisa.
Tanungin ko lang si Ambassador De Villa, no? Kasi sure nakita nyo sa simbahan sa Europa, yung mga simbahan doon na pakaunti ng pakaunti yung mga nagsisimba. Dito sa Pilipinas, hindi pa masyadong problema yon. But you think because nga itong approach ng ating bagong Santo Papa na yung we have seen so far, mas dadami yung mga magsisimulang magsimba ulit sa buong mundo?
Definitely. Yun ang aking reading, At saka yung kanina nabanggit na first Latin American Pope siya. Kasi nabanggit din ata ni Father Joyo na dahil doon ang maraming concentration ng Katoliko, 2/3 of the world's population of Catholics nandoon. Kaya siguro maraming madadalang metodo, ika nga ni Pope John Paul II, new methods, new expressions, new fervor, yun sa pagpapahayag kay Kristo, pagkilala natin kay Kristo ulit, lalong-lalo na sa Europa. Kasi nga ang tawag ngayon sa Europa, post-Christian era. Sa kanila nang galing yung Christianity, dinala sa atin at dinala sa Latin America. Ngayon naman, it's now the time of the heirs. Sabi yun ng isang theologian, na tayo ang magbalik, Latin America, itong si Pope Francis, ang magbalik ng bagong pagkilala kay Kristo dun sa Europe. At yung binabanggit nyo kanina, hindi lang naman ngayon yan dahil nag-attend ang Bishop of Constantinople sa inauguration ni Pope, Nung araw pa, if you will remember, yung 1962, 1965, Second Vatican Council, when you go back to history, Pope John the 23rd called it the Ecumenical Council, Kaya
And
yung
it's the first time they read the Nicene Creed together.
Yes, yes. At panahon naman ni Pope John Paul II, kasi yun ang season ko dun madalas, ang dami nagpupunta na Eastern Church, Nagmimisa pa nga dun sa Vatican, tuwan-tuwa kami, yung asawa ko, kasi noon lang kami nakatanggap ng komunyon. Oo, yung two species, pero may kutsaritang maliit na ginaganon sa iyo yung. Oo, kaya sabi nga nung asawa ko, paano yun? Baka hindi ko masalo. Sabi ko, saluhin mo. Kasi hindi pinapatouch siya yung spoon. But there have been constant efforts para mapatsatupad yung sabi ni Jesus before He died, panalangin niya sa Ama niya, may they be one. There has been constant effort, and I'm sure with this new Pope, patuloy-tuloy pa rin yun.
Nabanggit mo yun, Nick, marahil dahil kakapasyal mo sa Europa, nakikita mo yung simbahan naging museum naging pasyalan ng turista. Pero sa Pilipinas, meron din tayong challenges, kaya gusto kong itanong kay Attorney Raymond. Attorney Raymond, ikaw, nabanggit mo, you're a Christian at you're Jesuit former. Sa tingin niyo po ba with this Pope, marirevive yung faith ng mga Pilipino na hindi lamang Pilipino pag nasa loob ng simbahan, kundi Pilipino pati sa gawa, pagiging tapat, hindi pagiging corrupt, at talagang para panindigan yung moral teachings ng simbahan?
Actually, if you would allow me to be personal, ako rin, I'm very close to God. I have a very strong faith. Pero nung nag-come out of the closet and I saw yung attitude, yung dogma ng church about homosexual, I left the church. I stopped going to Mass. And that was around the time of Pope Benedict. Kasi nga, the teachings of the church at that time were very negative and nakakasakit to be called intrinsically disordered. Yun ang turo ng church. But I tell you, so I stopped going to Mass around 2005, 2006. Pero ngayon, I mean, after Pope Francis's election, I've made the resolve personally to start going back to Mass.
That's very good.
Galing.
Kasi that's very good.
Hindi kasi there's something about him
Yes.
na talagang sabi ko, hindi. I still think that, I don't want to call myself a Catholic because I still have serious issues with certain elements of Catholic dogma. Pero iba yung God is bigger than the church. God is bigger than the Catholic Church. God's grace envelops everyone, the Orthodox, Muslims. I work with the United Nations. I could see God in Hindus and Muslims and sabi ko nga, more important. So siguro to just limit ourselves to a narrow view of God inside the Catholic Church is not in keeping with the spirit of the times. Pero ako, personally, I mean, that's been my personal
maganda
experience.
yan, ano? Kaya gayon pa man, hindi natin mapigilan yung pagpukol ng mga kritisismo laban sa ating bagong Santo Papa. Nais ko lang tanungin si Father Joe kasi nung sinasabi lang mga ulat na lumalabas ng panahon ng diktadurya sa Argentina, yung sinasabing hindi siya nagsalita against itong polisiya ng gobyerno nila, yung mga nawawalang mga pare. Ngayon parang naglalabasan na naman. How do you think this is affecting the Pope and the papacy?
Yung mga reports na yon na hindi niya pinotektahan yung dalawang Jesuits na kidnap, that was during the time na naging provincial siya ng Argentina from 1973 to 79. Kailangan maintindihan yung context ng Argentina. No? Medyo magulo noon at bilang superior, yung provincial, isa sa mga functions na pagiging superior, yung personal care of the men. Yung primary motive niya ay huwag masaktan itong dalawang pari. Kaya pinaalis niya doon sa slum area kasi nga magulo yung situation, pero ayaw namang umalis ng dalawa. At yung context ng pagkakidnap nila ay dahil may tinorture na kasama nila sa trabaho at nasabi na banggit yung dalawang pangalan ng pare na yan. So it was under the military junta. At yung pag ikaw yung provincial, you just have to make a decision. At yung decision na yon is based on prudence. Prudence dahil nga the primary responsibility of a superior is the care of the men. Pero hindi totoo yun na wala siyang ginawa. No? In fact, siya pa ang kumausap doon sa presidente na protektahan itong dalawang pari kaya nakabalik sila sa kapisanan. At siya po yung naging archbishop siya ng Buenos Aires. Siya po ang naghimok sa lahat ng mga obispo sa Argentina na humingi patawad sa lahat ng mga nangyari doon sa Argentina na nagkulang yung response ng simbahan. So merong recognition of limitation, at the same time ginawa niya ang maaari niyang gawin, no, sa sitwasyon na yon.
Hindi naman talaga perpekto lahat, but using his best judgment, siguro yung history will judge him. At sa ating pagbabalik, we will get questions from our audience, Nikki, at pagpapatuloy siyempre natin ang diskusyon dito sa ating bagong Santo Papa.